We use them every single day, probably dozens of times, without even a second thought. I'm talking about search engines, of course. But have you ever really stopped and wondered, how do they actually work? Well, today, we're going to pull back that curtain and see what's going on behind the scenes. Seriously, just think about it. You type a question, any question, into your phone, and bam, in less than a second, you've got an answer. It's kind of like magic, isn't it? How is that even possible? How does this massive, sprawling thing we call the internet find exactly what you need so incredibly fast? Let's break it all down.
So, to get to the bottom of this, we're going to go on a little journey together. First, we'll see what happens the moment your search begins. Then we'll meet the spiders that explore the web. After that, we'll check out a giant digital library. Then figure out how the best answer gets chosen for you. And definitely stick around because at the end, I've got a super simple tip to help you search better. All right, you ready? Let's dive right in. First up, your search begins. We're going to follow your question on its journey, right from your keyboard out into the world.
This whole incredible process really just boils down to 3 simple steps. First, the search engine has to explore the internet to see what's out there. Second, it needs to organize all of that information. And third, it has to find the best, most relevant answer just for you. Explore, organize, find the best. Let's look at each one.
Okay, so let's start with that first step. This brings us to part 2. Spiders explore the web. I mean, with billions of pages out there, how in the world do search engines even know they exist?
The best way to get your head around this is to picture the internet as a gigantic, invisible spider's web. It's this massive, tangled network where all the different pages and websites are connected to each other through links.
So to travel around this giant web, search engines use these little automated programs. Now, the official, kind of boring term for them is a crawler, but everybody calls them by a much cooler nickname, spiders. And it's the perfect name, as you'll see.
And these spiders are always at work, 24/7. They just crawl across the web, following links from one page to the next, and on, just like a real spider on its web. Their whole job is to discover and take note of every public page they can possibly find.
Okay, so the spiders have done their work. They've found a gazillion pages. What happens next? Well, that brings us to step 2, which I like to call the giant digital library. This is all about how that mountain of information gets organized. Essentially, every single time a spider discovers a new page, the search engine records it. It gets added to this absolutely enormous, constantly growing list of, everything it's ever found across the entire internet. This massive list has a name. It's called the index. And the absolute best way to think about the index is to imagine the old card catalog in a library. That big cabinet of drawers that listed every single book? It's just like that, but for the whole internet. And this library analogy, it really works perfectly. Think of it like this. A real library has the building, right? Inside, it has the books, and then it has the list of all the books. Well, for the internet is the building, the websites are the books, and that index, that's the master list of all of it. All right, so we've explored the web with spiders, and we've organized everything into our giant digital library, the index. Now for the magic trick, the final and most critical step, finding the best answer. Because with billions of pages to choose from, how on earth does it pick the right ones for you? Let's go back to our library one last time. When you ask your question, the search engine doesn't just throw a random stack of books at you. No way. It acts like a super smart librarian who knows exactly where everything is and can instantly grab the perfect resource to answer your question. This whole process of sorting through everything to find the very best stuff, that's called ranking. And it's really just a fancy word for putting the most useful answers right at the very top of the list, where you'll see them first. So the big question is, how does it decide what's best? This is where the secret recipe comes in. Every search engine has one. It's a super complex set of rules and calculations called an algorithm. This algorithm looks at hundreds of different signals, like the words on the page, how new the info is, how many other good websites link to it, all to figure out the perfect order for your search. Okay, now that you know how it all works behind the scenes, let's talk about how you can make it work even better for you. That brings us to our last section, how to search better. I've got a couple of simple techniques that'll make a huge difference. To get the best answers from our digital librarian, you've just got to give it clear instructions. First off, use more words. Don't just type cake recipe. Try easy chocolate cake recipe without eggs. Next,
Ask a full question, just like you would a person. Something like, what is the capital of Australia? And finally, a really simple one we all forget sometimes. Check your spelling. A little typo can really throw off the results. Easy, right?
So the next time you type something into that search bar, you'll know what's happening. You'll know about the spiders crawling the web, the massive digital index, and the complex algorithm working just for you. An entire world of information is waiting. So my only question is, what will you ask next?